If you look at generations past, from Lillian to Eugene to Joanne, what did they bring to you that you think is at the core of what makes Arowhon such a special, magical place?
Lillian was an entrepreneur. Her main goal at that point was to supplement her family's income because it was during the Depression, and her husband was a dentist. In fact, the first Jewish dentist in Toronto, Max Kates. Most of the camps at that point were single gender, and her brother had been sent to camp, and she wanted to create a co-ed camp. But her main philosophy about camping was just getting kids out of the city and into nature. And then when Eugene came on, he fought in the World War, and he was really entrenched in this idea, this militaristic idea of character building through structure and through skills. And that's, I think, where our commitment to teaching skills came in. And we're very lucky to have the site that we do, the size of site and the resources, because you can't teach 350 kids how to canoe if you only have 2 canoes. We have 60 canoes. We have 20 sailboats. We have, depending on the year, between 12 and 22 horses. So when kids go to the activities, they're actually learning how to do them. You don't have 5 kids being taken on a sailboat ride by a staff. You have a staff member who's sitting in the boat doing the teaching, and then a kid holding the tiller and another kid holding the sails. When my mom came in, my brother and I were young kids at the time, below camp age, and my mom had a new perspective as a young mother and wanted to create a socially and emotionally safe space for kids. She was really at the beginning of the anti-bullying movement. She was a pioneer in that, creating a culture of social and emotional safety. And it was a hard shift because by that point, camp was 3 generations in to people coming, and the kids of the people who started came back and back. And it's tough to change traditions.
Back then, it seemed that the stereotype of camp was meatballs. Remember that movie?
Yeah, and Wet Hot American Summer.
Yeah, so that would not happen today. Every single person would be fired.
And that's very much where my mom took camp from in the late 80s, early 90s to where it is now. My mom created a culture where being kind is cool. What's cool now at Arowhon is how good you are at canoeing, or how fast you could paddle to the far end of the park and back on our push trip, or who you are, how funny you are, how kind you are.
You represent a different generation. What would you say you bring to the mix? Because this is an evolution.
I do think that the quality of everything we're able to provide in terms of safety of campers, in terms of supervision of staff, even in terms of the food, is at least partially due to the fact that we're family run and run by parents. It really takes parents themselves. And I think that Max and my taking over of the camp as directors has coincided with us becoming parents ourselves. And I think that's added, for me anyways, that's added an immense amount of respect for the work that I do, because I know how important it is to care for other people's kids.